Hold on to your britches if I was you, because I am not a happy bunny today, and by Christ, you're going to know it. I am beyond livid. Livid doesn't even come close to what I feel right now. So let's give it a minute, as if Facebook don't decide to ban me for telling the truth, because the truth is such a bitter pill to swallow. And I've made a few notes of things that I've just been watching, the Sky interview with the police, with regards to this. But let's start where we meet. First of all, I want to ask everybody who's on here, everybody, please hit this share button, tag your friends in, invite people in, get as many people listening to this as possible. I'm not going to sit and answer questions because right now I'm pissed. I'm so pissed that I cannot begin to tell you just how fed up and really annoyed I am over this absolute bullshit. And I call bullshit on it. I am so sick of this. So sick of it. Please try and put thumbs up, hearts, not angry faces. For some reason, it tends to slow it down. So when I've got a few on here, I'm going to tell you why I'm most angered. And I've made a few notes of things that this police officer says. And what I'm also going to do for you, and it will go a little bit dark the screen, so I apologise for that. So let me give you the list of the names in the court case that was happening, the Newcastle court case, okay? This is the Newcastle court case. So we've got the names now. So here we have it. Habibur Rahim, 34 of Friars Way, 2 counts of conspiracy to incite prostitution for gain, human trafficking, rape, 2 counts of trafficking for sexual exploitation, 4 counts of supplying MCAT, 2 counts of supplying cannabis. Abdul Saib, 40 of Dean House Walker, conspiracy to traffic for sexual exploitation, conspiracy to incite prostitution for gain, conspiracy to sexual assault, 2 counts of supplying cannabis, 2 counts of offering to supply cannabis and possessing cannabis. Isa Maselvi, 42 of Todd's Newcastle, 3 counts of rape, 2 counts of supplying drugs, 1 count of permitting premises to be used for the supply of drugs, 1 count of conspiracy to incite prostitution. Caroline Gallen, 22 of Hairside Court, you scumbag because you're a woman and you sold children, you sick, sick piece of crap. 3 counts of trafficking for sexual exploitation. One has to wonder whether she was ever sexually exploited herself and trafficked. Nashir Uddin, 35 of Jones Street, Newcastle. 1 count of digital penetration. Digital penetration. What is digital penetration? Somebody tell me, because I don't know. 4 counts of supplying drugs. 1 count of permitting premises to be used to supply drugs. 1 count of conspiracy to incite prostitution for gain. 3 counts of possession of drugs. Mohammed Azram, 35 of Croydon Road, Newcastle. 1 count of sexual assault. 5 counts of supplying and offering to supply drugs. 1 count of conspiracy to incite prostitution for gain. Tahirul Alam, 32 of Normanton Terrace, Newcastle. 2 counts of supplying drugs, 1 count of permitting premises to be used for supplying drugs, 1 count of conspiracy to incite prostitution, 1 count of attempted sexual assault. Abdul Hamid Minoui, 34 of Gainsborough Grove, Newcastle. 1 count of rape, 1 count of sexual assault, 1 count of supplying drugs. Manjur Chowdhury, 33 of Phillips Place, Newcastle. 1 count of supplying drugs, 1 count of permitting premises to be used for the supply of drugs, 1 count of conspiracy to incite prostitution. Prabhat Nelly, 33, Corporation Road, Newcastle. 2 counts of supplying drugs, 1 count of conspiracy to incite prostitution. What is this incite prostitution? These were children, okay? This is the bullshit claims they have to come up with. I'm not finished yet. Jahangir Salman, 45 of Hadrian Road, Newcastle. 1 count of rape, 1 count of supplying drug, conspiracy to incite prostitution for gain. Mohammed Hassan Ali, 34 of Bentinck Street, Newcastle. 2 counts of sexual activity with a child. 1 count of possession with intent to supply. 1 count of supplying drugs, sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. Oh, well, I'm sure that child feels so much better knowing he'll serve 3.5 years. Saiful Islam, 35, Strathmore Crescent, Newcastle. 1 count of rape, sentenced to 10 years. Half that, he'll serve 5. Well done. Job well done, boys. 14 is Yasser Hussain, 28 of Canning Street, Newcastle. 1 count of sexual assault by beating. 1 count of intimidation. 1 count of permitting his premises to be used to supply drugs. Sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. Oh, great, he'll be out in less than 18 months. Bandrul Hussain, 37 of Drybeck Court, Newcastle. 3 counts of permitting premises to be used to supply cocaine, MCAT and cannabis, and supply of MCAT. Nadeem Aslam, 43, of Belgrove, Newcastle. 2 counts of supplying drugs, 2 counts of possession of drugs, 1 count of permitting premises to be used for supplying drugs. 17, Mohibur Rahman, 43, of no fixed address. 2 counts of permitting premises to be used for the supply of MCAT, 3 counts of supplying MCAT, conspiracy to incite prostitution for gain. Redwan Siddiqui, 32, of West Road, Newcastle. 1 count of supplying drugs, sentenced to 16 months in prison. Now, I'm going to read something else out to you. I am really sorry because you're just going to have to part with me about this. I am beyond pissed. You have no idea right now how pissed I am. Please keep hitting that share button. Get as many on there as you can. Now, this is where I really lost using your fingers as digital. Oh, so why don't they just say that he forced himself inside her? So then I opened up this link. Operation Shelter paid. Police paid £10,000 to a child rapist. And this wasn't just any old child rapist. This is priceless, this shit. And the best of it is, this is the best of it. This is the bit that makes my stomach churn. £10,000 to a man who was a convicted rapist. Child rapist. He raped children. Now, I am telling you now whether they're not going to tell you this. None of them are going to tell you this, right? The children, I guarantee, on the whole, were, if not all white, at least the mass percentage of them would have been white. 100% guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. But when you read down further, it says here, it has now emerged that during the course of the inquiry, the force paid the convicted rapist known as XY, as he cannot be named for legal reasons, to act as, well, we can't name him, God forbid we name him, and he's only a rapist. XY fell out with his police handler, well, he is a fucking animal, although that's being kind, making a series of damning allegations, including he had been told to plant drugs and take vulnerable girls to parties. This led to a challenge to the court process, with the defence arguing his allegations fatally undermined the police case. However, the use of the informant has been defended by the force. I'm sure it has. Chief Constable Steve Ashman said, "We have to deal with people who themselves are guilty of some of the most vile offences imaginable." No you don't. Not when it comes to rape. Quite often these people can't be trusted. Oh, really? Well done. Well done. You're a police officer and you realise that a rapist can't be trusted. But the potential prize is that you just might get a piece of information, intelligence, possibly, even evidence that might just lead you to a successful conviction. And you put bad people behind bars. Not that bad person though, eh? BBC's Inside Out programme has learned the informant was known to some of the defendants. Really? Are we shocked? He was known by some of them. XY had a total of 53 convictions and had previously been jailed for 7 years for attacking a 15-year-old girl whom he plied with drink and drugs and gang raped with 2 of his friends while working for Operation Sanctuary. He was arrested for dishonesty, an assault in a mosque, and was questioned about making sexual advances to a 13-year-old girl. So what did XY's role as the informer involved? During the special court hearing in October, brought by the defence in a bid to have the case dropped, XY said, "I was told," basically. So he goes on, this is XY trying to, cover his own backside. He said, "These parties, I went to 1 or 2. I bet you went to more, you scumbag. I got information about parties when they were happening and I would ring in. While it's not unusual for informants to have criminal records, one senior ex-policeman has expressed concern." Really, only one. Only one has expressed concern over this. Only one. Only one has expressed concern over this. So I think it's a little bit different. Okay, so you've got a bit of a gang going on and you get a gang member and you ask that gang member to inform on them. Okay, wonderful. Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. But this is rape. This is child rape. You took a man with 53 convictions for child rape, and you used him to get a... And what I can't understand, and this is why I made a few notes, because like I said, I'm beyond angry right now, beyond angry. I am at the point now where I could quite personally turn up there, reach through and drag everything, single one of them out on the streets and put a bullet in their head. That is how pissed I am at them. Right? Because I'm sick of this scum. I'm sick of it. I've had it to the back teeth. And then you see them put it out saying, you know, rapists. And they don't want to call them. Right? So they say, Bangladeshi Pakistani. Bangladeshi Pakistani. Yeah, the word you're looking for is Muslim. Muslim. And this officer, in trying to sort of say, we're not, you know, when we say the communities are not doing enough, you're damn right the communities are not doing enough. Where are they, your 10,000 Muslims? Shame on everyone. Where are you, you feminazi witches? Where are the feminist organisations? Why aren't you there? Why are you calling bullshit on this? Where you, Mr. Lefty, Mrs. Lefty? Where's your condemnation of this? So the girls that this man raped and abused, he's walking free with £10,000 in his back pocket. Well, that's the worth of the 53 crimes he committed, isn't it? I'm sure that 13-year-old child that he raped feels so much better knowing that he has £10,000 in his pocket for information. Information that you could have obtained another way, and I know you could have. I'll give you an example of what I mean. The last apostate that I managed to get out of where he was living and into a safe house told me himself he received a text message, a random text message from somebody, he didn't know who, but a random text message, okay? And this random text message invited him to come to a party to rape the filthy white kuffar. Just a random text message sent out to hundreds of Muslims. So, why not use apostates then? You want an informant, why not get the apostates to go in undercover? At least you know they're not going to be trying to rape. But no. I mean, he's got 10 grand. 10 grand. Jeezy, a holiday of a lifetime. Come back and rape a few more white girls. So I wrote down the names of the places that the officer said these men came from, because of course he can't say Muslim, because Muslim just sticks in the back of their throat to say what's true and what's not true. Hit that share button. I want as many people to view this as possible. Make it go viral if need be. I don't care, because I will call bullshit on bullshit when I smell bullshit. So they came from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Iraq, Kurdistan, Iran. Well, forgive me for pointing out the obvious here, but they're pretty much Muslim countries. Welcome to mass immigration. Are you all feeling culturally enriched yet? We're told this is culturally enriching. Mr. Sadiq Khan, why aren't you on there? Why aren't you there condemning this? We're too busy keeping your mouth shut and moaning about Donald Trump and putting out videos of poetry to say London is open. What? Open to what? More Muslims? More rapists? More paedophiles? More child abusers? More traffickers? More drug dealers? Like we don't have enough of our own to deal with, we're going to import a few more. And now you've got the jungle, the new jungle. More refugees welcome. More refugees welcome. More rapists. It doesn't matter if 5 are not. If there's 5 that are. It's the 5 that are that worry me. I can't tell the difference between that one and that one. So he then says, you can't even, this is what the police officer said, he cannot confirm whether XY, that's what he called himself, he calls his informant, the raping scumbag XY. But he can't confirm for definite whether XY was ever in the room at the time that these men were committing further rapes on these children. Can't confirm it. He said, you know, it's not like a postmaster or a district nurse. Well, that's hardly the same as a rapist, is it? How do you compare those? How can you compare those? I don't get why you needed to use a man guilty of rape. What does this say? And believe you me, trust me when I tell you, right? This is something that sticks in my throat to the point where I could choke on it. Because this is an insult to every person like me that has survived rape. How dare these police belittle that child? And now the 53, did he commit 53, was it 53 children he raped? Or was this 2 children, 53 times he raped them? How many? How many children did you sell out for? 10 grand. For 10 grand. Honestly, where were the left? Where were the feminazis? And believe you me, it's not like there ain't no Muslims angry over this, because trust me, there are Muslims angry over this, okay? Because we're looking at here, there's a guy that I've been talking to. Now, I will tell you a little bit about, his name is Ahmed Patel. He's got a website. By all means, check out his website. Now, he's been sharing a lot of my tweets, and he's condemning these scumbags, and he's not afraid to call these people Muslim. He has no fear of this, okay? He doesn't fear calling it for what it is. He calls a Muslim a Muslim a Muslim, whether he does bad things or not. But he says a 2-day event in London for Palestine, but not a whimper on the rape victims. Now, he says this is not Islam. I would disagree with him, but that's what we have the right to disagree. He said, ban the term Islamophobia until Muslims get their house in order. Every Muslim rape gang is another 7-7, another nail in the coffin for our community and community relations. He said, and all the Muslim victim organisations should be ashamed of themselves for ignoring crimes by Muslims. This, in his words, he says, this is not Islam. Again, he and I would agree to disagree on that one. This is oppression upon oppression. We bomb them, we rape them, and you cry Islamophobia. Shame on you. Yeah, you're damn right. Shame on every Muslim community who has kept its mouth shut. You should be out there condemning the police as well for paying £10,000 to a convicted rapist who'd already served 7 years for raping a child. You raped a child, you absolute scumbag, and you, Northumbria Police, put your hands in your pocket and paid him £10,000. I gave you information a long while back to the police with regards to an impending terror attack, which turned out to be true, and I didn't ask you for a red cent for the information, nor would I. But you paid him £10,000. 10,000. Let that sink in, people. Please let this sink in. He was guilty of 53 offences. The links are both in this video. Both links. 53 convictions. Okay? 53. And he served 7 years for raping a child. And you paid him 10 grand to attend parties, which you cannot confirm or deny one way or the other if he attended. Well, you were keeping a close eye on him then if you don't know. If you don't know, what is the matter with you? What is... Seriously, I take these things very, very, very seriously. Okay? Please, everybody, if you can try and stop with the angry faces, because it will freeze up the video. By all means, put thumbs up, not a problem, okay? Use the thumbs up, use the hearts, fine. Try not with the angry faces. For some reason, it does tend to freeze up the screen, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but people say they can't hear anything. So, you know, either way, put your angry faces in the comments. You know, in fact, do you know what? No, if it freezes up, it freezes up. It's not the end of the world if it freezes up. Go for broke and put as many angry faces as you like, because actually, I'm just as pissed and angry as you are. I know what rape does. Rape doesn't just rape the girl. Rapes the families too. Families suffer and endure rape. The girl suffers and endures rape, both in different ways, but they still suffer and they still endure it. And you're sitting there justifying putting your hand in your pocket and paying out £10,000 to a rapist. Did we, when we had Ian Brady and Mara Hindley, did we send in a murderer to catch a murderer? Pretty sure we didn't. Pretty sure we didn't do that. Ian Huntley, did we send in a child killer? And I believe he was actually probably raped them. Did we send in a child killer to catch him? Or any other murderer? Did we send in a murderer to catch the murderer? You might go into the prison and you might say to them, oh, we'll knock a year off his sentence for information. But what you didn't do is pay £10,000 for a murderer to turn in a murderer or to be present at a murder. How can they justify this? You have just paid that man for raping. You have just paid him for raping. How do you justify this? There is no justification. There is no excuse. This is an insult to every woman who's ever been raped. This is a crime against humanity itself. And the government say, do whatever necessary. Yeah, but they don't say put 10 grand in the pocket of a rapist. And the whole time, we're supposed to be grateful because the police are doing the job. And I feel for the average copper going out and doing his job. I do. I've got the utmost respect for them. But above sergeant, nah. You're politically left-leaning lovies. That's what you are. You're the elite. So where are you, Mr. Lefty? Mrs. Lefty? Where are you? Are you going to hold a mass demonstration about this? Where are you, Muslim communities? I mean, come on, you can get 10,000 out on the streets when it comes to a drawing. You can all be so outraged over a page of the Quran in a cartoon. So where are you? I'm expecting a march tomorrow from the Muslim community. I'll join you. I'll be there with you. I mean, you must be outraged, surely, that a Muslim man was given £10,000, even though he was guilty of 53 charges of rape or sexual abuse, and he'd spent 7 years in prison for rape of a 13-year-old child. You gave him 10 grand. So, for every grand, let's have one Muslim out in the street, shall we? No. I mean, there might be Muslims like Ahmed Patel. Now, he's the guy I've been talking to at length. And I will tell you all now, he condemns this wholeheartedly. And he is publicly speaking out on it. In fact, I'll put his website up later. Go read for yourself. Whether he believes in Islam or not is irrelevant. He's calling bullshit on the Muslim communities, and I will support him because he does so. But that isn't enough. Show me the 10,000. Where are they? I mean, I'm happy to come along. I'll even speak with you. I'll get up on a platform, and I'll praise you all for being there. James Stewart Faulkner, I know you can't always help it, but right now this is not the time for jokes. I find nothing funny in the rape of children. I'm sorry, but I don't. And I know you don't mean any harm, and I apologise if I seem irate. But quite frankly, if people could understand for even 1 second, I want you, all of you, just imagine for 1 second, just imagine. You have some dirty, filthy, stinking person on top of your very soul. You've been beaten. You've been plied with alcohol. You've had all of that done to you. And you can feel him on top as he forces his way in, as he claws and gnaws at your body. You want to die. You want to die because then the pain will stop. But that's worth apparently £10,000 for information. I know because it happened to me. I know what rape does. along with every woman that I give support to. They know who they are. They know those who are on my profile, those who are not, who went through this, who were trafficked by these pieces of shit. And for what? For £10,000 to inform on the very people he was raping with. I've got to reiterate, I cannot reiterate this any further. I really can't. I am beside myself. What about the girls, plural, that he raped? Is that their worth now, is it? £10,000, that's their worth, is it? Is that the going rate, do you think? I think that's the going rate now. So I'll put it to you, Northumbria Police, and every other police force that has failed girls up and down this country. Keep failing them, because I want your resignations. My sole intention is, between myself and somebody else, I am going to be starting another movement. I want resignations of people who failed the people of this country. And for every girl and every boy that was raped by these scumbags that you ignored and turned your back on whilst forking out 10 grand for a fucking rapist. You have no idea. Every day's a battle. Whether you're male or female. Every day's a battle. One way or another, every day's a battle when you survive rape. None will get any easier. But you have to find ways of every day to pick up the pieces. Every day. So the 53 offences, was that 53 girls that he raped? I don't know, you tell me. I mean, we know he did 7 years for raping a child. 13-year-old, I believe. Gang rape. Let me reiterate as well. He served 7 years. Knock half of that off. Okay? Time off for good behaviour. Maybe he did 2.5 years. For gang rape. Gang rape of a child. A 13-year-old child. And what was she worth? £10,000 for him to supply information on other people doing exactly the same thing as he did. Do not tell me that you cannot find another way of getting that information, because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a lie. It's a lie. Police officers years ago did not send rapists to catch rapists. They might have sent a thief to catch a thief. And they never sent a rapist or a child abuser, a scumbag, a Muslim piece of shit that thinks raping, a gang rape and a child meant that he gets 10 grand. This today, I can't tell you what this has done to me today. I agree, Mick. That's exactly what my point is. That's exactly what my point is. Police had no right using that piece of shit, that scumbag, that raping, baby raping scumbag, that beast, barbaric extremism, sexually aggravated. I can't even get my words out. I'm so beyond angry. I promise you now, I will never let this go. Not now, not ever. I've endured gang rape, and I don't care how many people that want to take the piss out of that or mock it or find some kind of humour in it, because trust me, it's not funny. There's no humour in it. It's hard. So I don't care. I don't care if it upsets people. I don't care if it upsets me when I see that a child was only worth 10 grand. And they wonder why girls don't want to come forward. And you say that the means justify the ends. No. No, the means do not justify the ends. Sending a raping piece of scum, a Muslim scumbag, and the Muslim communities get off your backside and start cleaning out your own backyards. Because you're quick enough to scream Islamophobia, Islamophobia. He put pork on my door handle. He put pork on my door handle. Arrest him, 2 years imprisonment. He threw an empty water bowl. 2 years imprisonment. He raped a 13-year-old. Hey, we'll give him 10 grand. He can go in and we'll take all the others while he walks scot-free. So he has his freedom. She has none. Hey, but the means justify the ends. Apparently. Shame on every police officer that was involved in that. Shame on every police officer that thinks using a rapist, paedophile, scumbag is normal. Listen, I know it might be freezing up, and I know it's because of the emoticons, but you know what? I'm not going to stop people from putting them up there. If it freezes it up, okay? It slows it down a little bit. I'm sure you can all go back later and replay it. But please hit that share button. Please make this video go viral. Please don't let me sit here and know that girls that survive this kind of shit are only worth 10 grand. I cannot believe that we live in a world where they think this is normal. It's because we don't have police officers doing real policing anymore. Not real police work. No, we're too busy sending in the police when it comes to Islamophobia. Too busy pandering and appeasing. And Theresa May, you need to get off your backside and you need to put this right, because you were the one that cut the police funding. You were the one that stripped the police down because they didn't want you. Get off your ass and do something. Because we hold you, the government, accountable for this too. You're talking about extremism. This is extreme. This is extremism. And all of this, they talk about, you know, of sexual assault. I'm sick of people thinking sexual assault doesn't mean they couldn't have stuck objects inside her. Because it can. It's not diminished what it really means. Where are all the Corbynistas? Where is your rage? Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's right. You're going to be far too busy tweeting me and telling me, well, white men rape too. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. White men do rape too. And, of course, we have more white rapists in prison than we do brown rapists because we're still the majority. Nobody's denying that. I condemn every one of them scumbags too. And if they were doing it and they called themselves Christian, I'll call them Christian. I have no problem doing that either. Ahmed Patel said something very interesting to me, actually. And I'll tell you a little bit about Ahmed. So please bear with me, folks. I know I'm rambling. And I know you probably won't all want to stay for it. Hit the share button and invite your friends, please. Ahmed Patel and I, we've been talking at length. And he is actually the brother-in-law of the 7/7 bomber. And he said, I've had enough. This is my country. This is my community ignoring this shit. He calls bullshit on his own community. And he's told them, stop pretending these men are not Muslim, they're Muslim. These raping scumbags are Muslim. Yes, they are. But he also said something I found extremely interesting. And that is that the left basically act like masters to the slaves. They come out all offended on behalf of Muslims, whether Muslims want them to or not. But they do. So they don't basically see themselves as being masters to the slaves. Well done to the left. You brought slavery back into the year 2018 or 2017. Well done. But then to see this today. And you've got the councillor sitting there going, you know, our priority is to the welfare of these girls prior, during and after. Didn't give a shit while it was happening though, did you? Wonder what councillors were in position when all of this was going unnoticed, unchallenged, unchecked. I wonder. Because I want your resignations too. Every single councillor that's been sat in a position of taking your big fat dollars, I want your resignations too. Not one of you deserve a job. Not one of you deserve to be paid out of taxpayers' funds. You put your hard-earned money into your taxes and pay your bills. And the whole while, you ignore this. So, as soon as I know how it's going to be all going about, I will tell you about what I intend to do. I have a very important meeting tomorrow, which I'm hoping they will understand where I'm coming from and why we need to address these issues. But the police force paying rapists for information, that he attends parties of rapists. And like I said, the last apostate that I helped, that I got out of where he was, I got him to a safe place, he's now settled down, he's got a place of his own, he's got a job, he's living his life. Received a text message. It had been sent out en masse. I don't know if I've frozen because all the notifications are frozen. But they literally, he received a text message. It had clearly been sent out on a mass text message to just random numbers that they knew were Muslim. So some bloke said, oh, yeah, go on, invite him. He'll be up for it. And he invited him to come and rape the filthy white kuffar. Where were you then, Mr. Policeman? Why didn't you ask that lad? Why didn't you ask him to go in and expose these scumbags? Why didn't you ask someone like him? But no, you asked a rapist. A child rapist. The lowest of the lowest of the lowest, and you paid them £10,000. You absolute disgrace to this country for every police officer that sanctioned this and said it was acceptable. And I don't care if you think that the means justifies the end. Try doing some real police work, getting off your backside. Maybe one of your police officers should have infiltrated and got in and found that information and not send a raping scumbag in there because you don't know whether or not he raped a few more. And all of it for the bargain payout of £10,000. Probably non-tax deductible as well. Probably paid no tax on it. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to humanity. And it's got to stop. I am going to share Ahmed Patel's blog site out because We may not agree on everything, but I will give credit where credit is due. Like I said, he is the brother-in-law of the 7/7 bomber. He's sick of terrorism. He's sick of extremism. And he's sick of Muslim rape gangs that are literally walking around laughing at every single girl they've ever raped. And I know plenty of girls that got no justice, where the police didn't get. And then all this, oh, we care about the girl. No, you don't. Some officers care about girls. There are many officers out there that turn their backs. I should know. I talk to enough of them. It's a shame on you for forking out taxpayers' money. And you wonder why, and this is the other thing. Ahmed has said the same thing, right? They wonder why. Let's call us, for example, I'll call us the white community, the black community, the brown community, the non-Muslim community. Why do they feel the way they feel? Well, it might have something to do with the fact that we're either being attacked with machetes, our children are being blown up, cars are being driven at us, mopeds are being driven at us, knives are being used to slash people's throats, soldiers are being beheaded in the streets, and we've got mass Muslim rape gangs. I'd say we've got every reason to be pissed, and you should think you really need to thank your lucky stars. That at the moment, and I have to say at the moment, we are showing restraint, because I don't know how much longer this country will show restraint. You cannot keep poking a lion and then tell that lion not to turn around and roar and rip your fucking head off. I'm sorry for my bad language tonight, people. This is something that angers me beyond anything you can imagine. For those of you that have just arrived, please go back, watch it again once it's unloaded. And I'm sorry for the rant, but this needed to be said. And with the jungle, new jungle happening, you know, it's only a matter of time before we see more. And more, and more, and more. And then we'll have stupid, liberal, lefty snowflakes coming out and going, I'd rather have a rapist than a racist. Well, I'd rather you had never inhaled your first breath of air, love. But you fucking did, didn't you? I'd rather that you didn't exist, because I would rather have a racist than a rapist. Because words just make you feel a little bit emotional. But actions, that's a whole new ballgame. And you, my little snowflake, clearly don't know what rape is or what rape does to a human being. I wish you knew. Just, this is to the liberal left. This is my challenge to the liberal left. Somebody find a lefty, tag a lefty. This is my challenge to the liberal left. Tell them they got to watch our video all the way through. Okay? So tag a lefty. And here's my challenge to the lefty. I will condemn with you in mass protest against any Westminster paedophile ring, against any BBC paedophile ring, against any white paedophile ring. I will do that. I will be there. I'll even bring every person I can that supports me, and I'll get them along there with me. When you turn up to condemn Muslim rape gangs that are targeting white girls. Now, I think that's a fair challenge. I think that's a fair challenge, don't you? So all those who think that's a good challenge, tag a lefty. Let's have a little Mexican wave if you agree, shall we? Let's see if everybody thinks that that's a really good idea. I think it's a fantastic idea myself. But by the looks of it, yep, it looks like that's a go for broke, and everybody thinks that's a really good idea. Somebody said the British people will do nothing. Please stop criticising the British people, okay? The British people are not weak. Trust me now, the British people, the English, we are not weak. We are not weak. Our government is weak. Our police, yeah, they're weak. But we, the people, are not weak. So please don't say that. Because I actually find that kind of annoys me. Because I sit here and I do more in a day than some people do in a fortnight. I'm far from weak. I'm strong. And I'm definitely not going anywhere. But am I emotional at the moment? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I'm sorry if I haven't answered any questions anybody's put up. But I needed to get my... Let's just say I needed to blow my pipes out just a little bit. I had to blow my bugle. Okay? The bugle hadn't been blown for some time. Been well and truly blown now. So there's my challenge to the left. Tell me where and when you're holding your next mass protest against Westminster, BBC, white rapists. You want to hold white rapists to account? You go for it. Organise it. I'll be along there and we'll bring a few hundreds of mine with me. Because I'm sure there's quite a few that would willingly come with me. However, I will then defy you to turn up when I hold one against Muslim rapists. I think that's a fair deal. Against Muslim rapists raping white girls. You target the Sikh girls, you realise the Sikhs, we're going to get violent with you. You stop with the Sikh girls and you're targeting white girls. That's a statement of fact. So, everybody for now, sorry for the rant, sorry for being angry, but not sorry. But just remember, government, just so you know, the people know, we do have the right to lawful rebellion in accordance with common law. Do your job before the people overthrow you and do your job for you. Because I'd quite happily get behind that. Right now, I'd quite happily get behind that. So for now, everybody, I need a cup of tea. The 2 links that you need are in here. Please use those links. Get those links out there. Share this far and wide. And understand that I don't care whether it's a white rapist or a brown rapist. But let's stop pretending this problem doesn't exist. And if anybody doubts what I've said about Ahmed Patel supporting what I'm doing and what I stand for, by all means go onto my Twitter, you'll find him and go and ask him. Because I'm pretty certain you'll find he wholeheartedly supports what I'm saying. Okay, so before anybody comes on and go, oh, you're just a raging Islamophobe. Well, I'm not irrational to fear anything, okay? But something that wants me dead or rape me, yeah, you could say I'm on a little bit of an issue with that. Okay, when they can justify their actions by going to the quotes, yeah, I'd have a little bit of an issue with that. I think that's my right too. It's called a free country for now. Unless, of course, we get the rest of the scumbags coming into the country that we don't want. Because they've opened up the new jungle. Well done to France. Well done to the weak French people that voted for a weak French government. Because if you think we're taking your scum that you're inviting in, you've got another thing coming. Not a chance in froggy hell. For now, take care, stay safe, be good, and please share this video out.